Welcome, everybody, to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a dating and relationship coach and founder of Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and also of Single and Stilettos. Today, we have on our show Iris Ben-Ruby, and she's a relationship coach. And today, we're talking about, can I change a man? Because I hear women say this all the time, either a man they're dating or in a relationship with or even married to, that they want to change him so that he's quote unquote perfect. But before we jump into it, Iris, I would love for you to tell the audience a little bit about you and how you became a relationship coach.
All right, so I got divorced many years ago, and what I noticed is when I got divorced is I really shut down. I pulled myself back. I was really afraid of getting hurt again and having my heart broken again. And I really had to learn the steps on what it took to get out of my comfort zone and when to do it and how to do it in a way that kept me safe. And then I realized, this is what I want to do for women. And so with my background as both a psychotherapist and a coach, I help women overcome those fears and learn how to take those steps gradually while keeping themselves safe and creating a dream relationship.
Aw, that's so awesome. And I could tell you're passionate about it, really helping women with this. So that's great. So, Iris, I know you and I have been doing this a long time. Have you heard this before where a woman says, how can I change him?
Absolutely. Whether it's in my coaching or when I have couples come in for counseling, they all come in to change each other. So women especially think they can change their man. And the first thing I'm going to say is that you're not his mommy. You don't get to shape him, right? You don't have a say as to whether he measures up or not. And so, if you don't want to be in a relationship with a man where you're the mommy and he's the child, you have to accept him the way he is. And the biggest mistake, or probably one of the top two mistakes women do, is they fall in love with his potential.
And tell the ladies, because I hear this a lot, tell them why that's a mistake, because they think, oh, he could be this. I know this is a big conversation.
If only he would fill in the blank, we would have such a great relationship. But guess what? He's not. Right? And if you brought it up once and he's not changing, like sometimes it might be something that he's not aware of and you can bring it up very gently. And there's room for shifting in relationship, but you can't get a major piece to change. If only he would communicate better. If only he would let me into his feelings. Like that's the core of a man, and he's not going to change in 1 or 2 or 6 months. So you need to be clear where he's at. And if that's where he's at, you need to accept him where he's at, because any change, and this is kind of like the second piece, any change he's going to make for you is not going to be sustainable because he's not doing it for him. Have you ever tried to, let's say, get fit or go on a diet for somebody else? It doesn't last that long because the motivation isn't in there. It's not from you yourself. So if a man talks to you about him wanting to change something about himself, great. But I'm going to go back to you're not the mommy. You want a relationship of equals rather than a parent and child relationship. So you need to accept him where he's at, or you ask him for what you need and you notice his response, and then you move forward if he can't be what you need. But you need to be clear on what you need.
So what if it's something that's so trivial because, there's certain things that are really important that you want him to change. And I get it, he needs to make those decisions on his own to change. But because one of the things that I hear women say that they want to change about their man, and I actually think it's completely ridiculous, but it's about how they dress. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, while it would be nice, it's like, I would rather have a man that treats me really well and takes care of me than how he dresses, something so superficial, right?
Yeah, and you need to be clear. If you're a woman that likes the status thing, then don't go out with a guy with a guy who dresses not really nice. But at the same time, you have to decide, just like you said, Suzanne, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the external? Or are you looking for the internal, a guy that loves you, that accepts you the way you are, which is exactly what we're talking about. You're not accepting him the way he is. If you want to be accepted for the way you are, you've got to accept him the way he is.
That is so true. So what can a woman do if a man is doing something though that is really god awful, and I know you explained you can't really change him, but is there anything that she can do to like bring it to his attention to inspire him to want to change?
Yeah, so there's a couple pieces in this, and often women get really anxious and uncomfortable about bringing stuff up. And you can start that sentence that way, like, I'm really uncertain, I'm really uncomfortable, I'm really anxious about sharing this with you, but I would love it if, you would put the toilet seat down. It would make me feel taken care of. So there's three pieces. There's that introduction piece about how you feel. So it allows him to be more open and more receptive to what you're saying so that it doesn't feel like you're trying to control him. You tell him what you need in a way that's respectful, and then you tell him what it would do for you. Because a good man ultimately wants to make you happy. And if it's something really trivial that he can, I don't know if he can make reservations before you go to a restaurant instead of just showing up and knowing that you have a half-hour wait. If you can just let him know that, I would love if you do that because it would make me feel taken care of. You get to see if the man's willing to step into that or not. And it's all information for you while you're dating. Can the man take care of you in the way that you would like? Or to look at, is this something trivial that you're putting a big focus on that takes away from who he really is at the core?
Now, what if it's, and I get the whole dinner reservation or putting the toilet seat down, but what if it's something that's bigger, like a bigger issue within the relationship, like, hey, I'm trying to think of something. When I'm talking to you, I feel like you dismiss me or you're not really listening to me. How can she? Because that's important. I mean, I think it would be hard for a relationship to survive through something like that. How can she bring that up without feeling like she's totally trying to change him? Because she's obviously trying to work it out, right?
So there's two pieces to that. One, it's a flag. If you're feeling dismissed or you're not feeling heard, is this man capable of it? And you're not going to be able to change it. But if he's not paying attention, you can bring it up in a way that's not about him. You dismiss me. You don't listen to me. It's about me. I really need, when I share this with you, that you pay attention to me because it'll make me feel like I'm important, like I feel safe with you. And then again, you take in that information. Is he willing to step up and give you what you need? It may be outside of his capability. And then that gives you more information. If you want a man, in a description. So I have my top 10 that you need. They're must-haves in relationship. If you want a man who can do emotional intimacy, who can communicate well, who can listen to you, and you ask for it when he doesn't give it to you, and then you notice, does he step into it? Can he learn the skills? We all need to learn skills. Or maybe he can't. Maybe it's not sustainable. That's all information at the beginning of a relationship for you to decide, do I want to invest my time in developing this relationship, or is it outside of his skill level to give me what I'm looking for? Not because he's bad or wrong, but because it's not what I'm looking for. It doesn't make me feel safe.
Right. Now, that's a really good point. And so at what point, my last question is, at what point is it time for a woman to realize that, you know what, he's not capable of it, and when is it time to walk away? I mean, how long, is there a time frame that a woman should give a man to step into it?
Yeah, I don't think that it's so much of a time frame other than be really clear on your must-haves. And when you go into a relationship and you see that something doesn't fit into that must-have, you ask for it and then you take in the information. Is he able to step into it? Or is it outside of his skill set or willingness to step into that? And that's information for you. It's funny to say you must have your must-haves. So your must-haves are non-negotiable, right? So if a man can't give you one of your must-haves, if you want to have kids, if you don't want kids, if you want to go on, 2 trips a year to the Orient or to the islands, you just, that's a little bit kind of a silly example. But if you want a man that likes to go on vacations outside of North America, there are a lot of men and women that prefer to stay in North America. So you need to be clear. You want a man that dances with you. You want a man that's active. Be really clear on what your must-haves and can you live without it. If you can live without it, it's not a must-have. if you can't live, like one of my must-haves has always been a man that dances. I've been dancing salsa for 15 years. So I don't need him to dance salsa, but it would kill me to go to a wedding and to know that he doesn't dance and I just have to sit there while everyone else is dancing. That's a must-have. And so when we get clear on those must-haves, it's really easy for us to negotiate our way as we date men because they either fit or they don't fit. If they don't fit, we ask for what we need. And if they're not able to step up, they're not the man for us.
That is so true. I love all the tips that you gave in this interview. So, Iris, I know you have an awesome gift for the ladies, so can you tell them about it?
Yes, I've got an ebook called How to Spark Desire in a Man Without Chasing Him. And that's probably the number one mistake women make when they're dating is they chase a man to get his attention. And what it does is it diffuses the desire, the sexual chemistry, and it has the man turn away. Or he becomes a man that you have to chase all the time. And most of us don't really want to be chasing our men. So if you want a man that steps up and takes care of you, you need to learn how to spark that desire without chasing him. And Suzanne, you're going to have the link for that, and that's available right away.
Right. So, ladies that are watching the video, you can click on the link below, or if you're listening to the podcast, just go to singleonstilettos.com and find Iris's interview, and you can get your free gift. So, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single on Stilettos show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleonstilettos.com, or if you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. And if you would like to get our free ebook on why men disappear without a trace, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleonstilettos.com.